Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I'm Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about the Deuce. Season 1, Episode 8 is the season finale. It is called My Name is Ruby. Full spoilers for the episode, as always. So
Her name was Ruby.
Her name was Ruby. Yeah. Yeah, give people enough time to stop after I say full spoilers.
That's what I did. Wait for the pause.
Wait for the pause.
And now.
Yeah. Obviously it was a slightly longer episode. It was about 10-15 minutes longer than usual, so it was, a few extra things in there. I think just in terms of quality, I mean, right off the bat, it's as consistent as it's been all season.
It's honestly maybe one of the most consistent TV shows I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any episode that stands out, particularly in either direction, as better or worse than the rest of them.
Yeah, because even something like Better Call Saul, which we think is insanely consistent, occasionally it'll still have a standout episode.
Yeah.
Whereas this is just very, very consistently very, very good.
I think, when we get to the end of the year and we talk about our best episodes of TV, and we typically limit ourselves to one from each show.
Yeah.
This is going to be really hard to pick an episode from.
This one will. This one might get shafted on best episode. It'll obviously be in the running for other stuff, but best episode it might get shafted because it's really hard to just as you say, pick, because everything just kind of links up together. It's like I feel like after a bit of time, I'm going to have a hard time
telling you what was in what episode.
Exactly. Yeah. Outside of obviously some obvious things that had to be the start or the end, but
yes.
So as we've been doing, we'll take it kind of roughly character by character, and talk about what's going on with each of them in this final episode. So Ruby's dead. Ruby, we see, is back out in the streets because she doesn't get picked enough in the parlour, and she's back outside because of that. And we see her talk to Alston a little bit, just friendly. Obviously he's friendly with her. And we see there's obviously a scene with Candy where she doesn't see her, but we'll talk about that more. It's more Candy's perspective, that one. It's a very simple plot because it's basically that, and then we see her in her room that we've seen with the traffic lights, which we've discussed at length before, and this creepy guy who tries to take his money back, and it's like, I didn't like it, money back. And because that's how that works.
Yeah, so I'm not sure prostitution has a money back guarantee on it.
No, I don't. I mean, and even if it was more official and there was rules, I feel like it'd have to be like you caught something from her or something to get money back.
I'm not sure it's refundable.
Yeah, it's not just no, it wasn't as good as I thought it would be, so money back, please.
Yes,
so.
You can do that with a new phone, not with a prostitute.
Because they can resell the phone.
Yes, exactly. You can return it. You can't undo the sex.
No, you cannot. No, you cannot. But he throws her out the window. And she gets scared. She realises that he's actually kind of creepy. And she's like, oh, yeah, well, you know what, just go. Yeah, take the money, go. Just leave. And he flips out. She makes a little comment. He flips out, turns around, comes back. And
it's because he calls her Thunder Thighs. And she goes, no, my name's Ruby.
Yeah, right, yeah. Title of the episode.
How she goes.
How dare she correct him?
Yes, exactly.
How dare! And I like that she took, because she's typically okay with that name. It's like tons of other people call her that, and she's okay with it. I like that here. It's like, no, we're not friendly. You don't get to call me that. Like,
yeah, exactly.
You're getting my real name. You're not. Well, it probably is a real name. Maybe it isn't a real name, but the point being is that it's the name that she goes by. So I thought that was a nice touch, and of course we see the effect that has on others around her in the aftermath. Alston, of course, punches Cece in the stomach after he makes a little joke, and it is really satisfying because Cece gets away with so much. He thinks he's such a tough guy, and at the same time, he can't just come back and hit a cop. So you feel like, yeah, take it, you asshole. You deserved every single, because he belittles her existence, and Alston, who we've seen, as much as she is on that side of the line compared to him, he's always treated her with respect. He makes, small talk with her. He treats her like a human being.
We had that little conversation earlier where they were nice, they were friendly.
Exactly. He's even talking to her about business. Oh, why are you back out here? Why are you not in a parlour? It's like, we know how it works, and they work together. Like I say, we've all said this. They're all in the same world as each other.
Yeah, they're all part of the system.
And so that's very satisfying. And Vincent makes a little, not even he's not joking about Ruby. He's just saying, "Oh, that sign's been damaged from the fall. We're going to have to fix that." And that upsets Abby a little bit. She's a little bit, "Oh, you're kind of just focusing on your own thing here. You're not really taking in the fact that a person just died." And he's like, "Hey, like I love women. What are you talking about? Like, I'm very forward thinking." He tries to convince her. And I think it's interesting, especially because obviously his plot in this episode has got to the point where he's feeling very uncomfortable with what he's now involved in, meaning the parlour and the possible second parlour, which Rudy's...
It's a nice 3-floor parlour.
3 floors with the VIP, because we've seen the VIP rooms finished. We see Rudy in there. He's he's christened it. He's been in, set his mark, and we see business is doing well. They're making lots of money. Bobby and Frankie are both flourishing with the cash. They're both very happy.
Yeah, they're making what was it, like 20 grand in 4 weeks or something.
Yeah, so they're very happy. So they're going to expand to this new place where it's got 3 floors. First floor is like the lobby. Second will be the main sort of rooms, and then the third floor will be the VIP. It'll be almost like a penthouse type of setup. Yeah. So no, so all this is going, but he kind of freaks out. Like, hey, this is going too far for me. Like, I don't even like coming to this place. He kind of storms out of the other meeting without even taking it. Like, I'll just bring my money by. Bring my cup by the bar.
To the bar.
And he's kind of pissed. And then when he's seen this new location, he freaks out, and he kind of acts up, and he basically tells his brother Bobby to F off, and he gets to Rudy, and I'm like, should he say this to Rudy? I don't know. Maybe this is too far. And he says it differently. He's like, Rudy, with all due respect, F you too. And then walks out. And Rudy, to his credit, doesn't get angry. He's like, he'll come around. He's so easy going.
Yeah, he's used to this, I think.
Yeah. So yeah, he's upset. He'll come around. And to be fair, I think over the course of it, because it feels like he's at his breaking point where he is ready to want to try and get away from all this because of he's kind of realised everything he's involved in. And then, of course, something happens where it becomes useful to him.
Yes.
So we find out his ex-wife has been beat up by the guy we saw way back in episode 1. And this is one of the wonderful things I think that this episode does, is that there's a few things that really bookend the season and make it feel like it links back to the start, and this is one of them, where we find out this guy she was with way back at the start of the show beat her up in front of his kids, and he's not happy about this because Bobby's in with his wife, his sister, and they're like she's telling them all this stuff and what happened, how she showed up, black and blue and all the rest of it. And of course we find out Bobby is indeed having a bit of a fling with that prostitute that he seemed to be.
Tiffany, I believe the name was.
Was it Tiffany? He bought her a ring. He bought the same ring for her as his wife, which that is not going to go down well when that pops up. It's
going to be very, very entertaining though.
It will be. I love because Bobby gets really upset and he's like, "Oh, F you, Vincent." He's like judging me, but I'm like, "No, Bobby. I can see the scene in my head where this comes out later, and he's going to be right."
Yeah, and I love that Vincent's just going to be like, "See, told you."
Mm-hmm.
Because, of course, he's going to be like that. What else was he going to do?
So the thing he comes over, right? I always forget his name. What's the henchman dude's name?
I have no idea. I think it's the one name I'm not sure on.
Yeah, I feel there's so many characters in this show.
He's kind of almost forgettable in terms of that.
Yeah.
Because he is kind of just the henchman. He's like he's Rudy's second. He doesn't actually do anything for himself.
I'm investigating here. Hold on.
Okay.
Oh, here we go. Right,
real professional.
Yeah. So I know. I'm getting to the bottom of this. He's Tommy. Yeah.
Tommy.
Does that sound familiar?
Not at all.
It doesn't, but I'm sure that's the guy. It's Tommy.
I'll take your word for it. I believe it, but you could have said anything.
Yeah. So so the bar's going smoothly one night, and Big Mike comes up and says, "Hey, Vincent, we need you downstairs in the storage room." And they go downstairs, and they've got a guy tied up, someone who's been stealing money from them, and Tommy's there, you got Black Frankie there, he pulls out a gun, puts it to his head, and the whole time Vincent's like, "What are you doing in my bar? I don't want this criminal activity going on in here." And I love how funny this scene is, because Tommy's like, "Hey, what's in that crate there where the bullet's going to hit?" And he's like, "Oh, that's the scotch or whatever it was." He's like, "Oh, the good stuff? Oh." And he moves it out the way.
Yeah, no, point of order. It was Johnny Walker Black. It's all right stuff, not the good stuff. It's like the slightly above the cheapest stuff.
That's not the point.
It was the point to me.
It's not. No one cares. It's funny because it's like he's expecting the bullet to actually be shot, so he's moving that out of the way so as not to damage the booze.
I get it, but it would have been funnier if it was actual good stuff.
Whatever. Opinions. Hey, maybe in the 70s that was good stuff. Maybe times have changed.
Nah.
Oh, come on. Anyway, so scene plays out, and the guy's like, basically eventually gives in. He's like, okay, fine, right, this is what's happened, this is how much we've spent, blah, 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 blah. And Tommy's like, hey, right, get rid of him. He's like, okay. And he's about to shoot him. He's like, no, I mean, take him home, and we'll go with him tomorrow to get the money. I was like, oh, okay.
Like Frankie plays it so cool and casual, though, doesn't he?
He does. He's just like, yeah, whatever. He's like, we're all on the same team here. But so he's talking to Tommy afterwards, though, and he's like, hey, I'm not like a made man, right? And he's like, no, you're not. He's like, yeah, but I'm good with you, right? He's like, yeah, well, what do you need? And, you know, we cut to something else, but then we come to that pool hall that we saw back at the start of the show, when he first got to confront his wife and this you know, boyfriend that she's got, this asshole. And he goes in, and I'm like, oh, I get it. I get why he's... Because I actually thought he was going to have Tommy go in with some guys and rough them up for him. But he walks in, and it's this great oneer as we come through the pool hall, and he's like... He grabs like a pool cue, and he's like, yeah, this'll do. And he's like, no, this one's better. And he grabs another one. And it's all very sweeping as he comes into the hall. And he just comes up and just hits the guy in the face. My favourite part of the scene, though, from an action point of view, if you want to call it that, is when he punches the second guy comes up after him.
I like how they all go to rush him, and Tommy's like, hey, no, guys, one at a time.
As he flashes the gun. He's making sure, like, I'm going to start killing folk in here if you don't play by the rules. But the second guy that he punches, you see his head land on the pool table, and a little bit of blood sort of like spurts out of his mouth as he hits it, and he bounces off and goes off the table.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if he was supposed to like die from this sort of thing. Like, it almost looks like, no, he just punched him to death almost. That's the sort of look it was, you know that hit on the head and then the blood. It's like, that looked pretty rough, you know. Like,
he's alive. He's fine.
It was pretty clear, but it's just saying could have gone that route.
Yeah, I think from a character perspective, though, it's the look on Vincent's face, because we actually get the entire walk out as well. We see them walk back out through the pool table and going past all the other people who are still playing pool. Some of who have stopped and have looked at what's going on, some who are already playing pool again, and they're walking out. And the look in his face, it's not quite of happiness, right? But there is kind of something there. It's like this feeling of power.
Yeah.
It's like he's just realised, no, I actually have this now because of what's going on. And it's actually echoed elsewhere in the episode where he kind of gives into his new life, because when he first goes back to the bar, Abby and Paul have set up some live music on this Saturday night, and he's not very happy about it at first because he didn't go through him. He's like, oh, this isn't what my bar's like. Sure, we're making money, but like, are we making as much money because they're dancing instead of drinking constantly? You know, he's questioning it. He's seemingly not very happy. But then later on, when he's with Abby again, he's like, hey, if you and Paul want to do that every week, you can have a third of the take on a Saturday night. We can make that live music night.
You set it up, you do your thing, you get the credit, and you get the cash. Basically.
Which is also very similar to how Rudy is with him.
It is, yeah.
He's almost doing the same thing. It is like he's being trained.
And then, Abby, mentions how Paul wants to start up a bar of his own, and he's like, well, you go in with him and, essentially be his Rudy.
Yeah. Which is funny because that's her prodding that rather than him just getting to that himself. But, I imagine he is kind of growing towards being open to it and like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It's setting up kind of...
And I think it's why he'll have such a problem with Rudy in the future is he'll kind of feel too big to be, answering to him.
You think that's where it's going to go, where he's going to feel...
I think it could, yeah. He'd be like, in the same way that we've been talking about how the girls are realising that they don't really need the pimps. He'll kind of do the same with Rudy, because we talked about how Rudy was kind of his pimp, and he'll realise, I don't really need you, I can do this on my own now. Yeah,
although that's where it could divert a little bit, in the sense that it is still just a business arrangement where, it's his machines are in there. Like, as much as we have compared it a lot to that stuff, and it is very true what we said, I think it all correlates, this arguably could grow beyond that, where he does kind of become his equal almost without...
It could, yeah.
That said, it being a TV show, I'm naturally expecting it to cause conflict because that's what happens.
That's how TV works. Yeah.
That is indeed how TV works. So that's kind of where we are with Vincent come the end of the season. I mean, him and Abby see. I mean, obviously he asked her to move in, so, or not in, but get a new place together because he's sick of staying at this crappy place, and she's still, sleeping at her friend's house, and it's like, all right, let's get something together. And he's even like, yeah, we'll have an open relationship, whatever. We'll just set that on the table right now. But let's just do it. Because it'll be better than this. So we're setting things up for season 2. We're setting up where we're going. Like they might be living together. There might be like a second bar where he's kind of half in on, and Paul's running it because that's what Paul wants to go do. And obviously we'll have the parlors, plural.
Yeah, I do wonder if Ruby will affect his decision on the parlor as well. Like the idea that he's going, okay, well this is quite a small parlor and she's not getting anything, so she went back to the streets. But maybe Abby will prod him a bit more and be like, okay, you could be doing more to help these people. So he'll go, all right, fine, bigger parlor, more people. Sure, she can probably get someone in there.
But Abby won't necessarily know that that's what it's going to cause. Like, she doesn't know about the parlor, so she'll just be like, right. Oh, we should do something more to help these people.
Yeah, of course.
And he'll then take that and go, okay, yeah, if we have more parlors where they can go and it's more of a
there's more variety, so then she's more likely, people like her are more likely to go in there and be like, okay, I feel safer.
That's actually true. I never even thought of that when she died. That this was again another reason why the parlor is a better place. Why it's a better option.
There'll be someone there to look out for them.
Yeah, as much as it's not the cheeriest of places, because the final shot of the episode after the montage of seeing where everyone is just that quiet shot, and you just hear some of the noises from the rooms, but it's just a quiet shot of that hallway and the parlor with all the doors. And I like that it starts to fade before the music kicks in, but it's they've really made a thing out of that music kicking in at the end. It always feels like it's climactic because it's time for the credits now. You always... This
one felt a little bit different though, didn't it? The shot itself, it lingered on its moment a little bit longer than it usually does.
Yeah, because it was the ending. You were saying this is the end of this chapter, if you will. We'll see you next time. So it works. So that was Vincent stuff. Obviously, just to tangent slightly to Frankie and Big Mike. The episode started with them. Their masturbatories, as he was calling them, or the first ones of those are installed in the store. And it basically sets up a little prank where he puts Big Mike in. He's like, "Hey, you christen it," and he goes in, but he's got the guy to set up a cartoon instead of the porn tape.
It's pretty funny, to be fair.
It's pretty funny.
That's the sort of harmless prank that should be played.
Sure. As opposed to what? What was the non-harmless prank that we've had?
I think I expect Frankie to do something stupid,
right,
over the top. Whereas this is like, no, this was a bit of harmless fun. It was very tame for Frankie.
Sure. Yeah. Big Mike seemed to think it was funny.
Oh, it was. That's what I mean. But I think Frankie usually goes too far.
Yeah. Here's something I was thinking. Not to criticise their design, right? But would it not make sense to have like a tissue dispenser or something in there?
It probably would, but maybe that'll be something that comes up next season.
I feel like you're going to be doing a lot of mopping when you could maybe avoid that with.
Maybe that is something that'll come up. They'll be like, "Hang on, we're cleaning this way too much." No one wants to be cleaning this, so let's just install some tissues.
Oh, that reminds me. I forgot the scene with Ruby and the guy starts with her wiping her stomach.
Yes, it does.
And it's like just jizz all over her stomach. And I'm like, oh man, guy, come on. Like, we've seen a lot of like pretty rowdy stuff in this show, but that was like probably the first time I've went, oh really? Come on. I don't need to see that. Oh dear. So let's talk about Candy. Let's talk about Candy.
It's an interesting one.
Yeah, we've talked about her journey a lot this season. I think first and foremost, they've basically confirmed. Because remember how we were saying, oh, maybe it's our father, or I was thinking father, you were thinking, ex, the kid's dad kind of thing.
Yeah.
Seems to be the father, right? After
I agree. I think last episode I said something as well that kind of led towards that. I can't remember what it was now. I remember mentioning it on here though. So, but yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Harvey it makes a little slur against gay people, and she's like, "Hey, don't say that." And well, it seems in character for her to feel that way because she is quite a sympathetic person. Like, she's not like mean to anyone. We've never seen her be anything like that. She's like, "Hey, I've got a brother," and I'm like, "Oh, this is the first we're hearing of this. This is new." And we see that she goes and visits her brother who's in a clinic. Seemingly that their dad put him in here to try and quote unquote cure him, You know, he's had electric shock therapy in the past, and he's on meds now. And you feel really, he's a really kind of sad character. You feel really kind of uncomfortable and like this is kind of terrible the entire time you're there.
He looks beaten down. He's kind of like, well, maybe I should be in here.
Yeah.
He's kind of bought into the lie of that he should be doing this.
Oh yeah, he's flat out denying. He's like, oh yeah, I like girls. What are you talking about? And she's like, no, you don't. And
she goes, name one girl you've ever been with.
And she's just, it's just kind of heartbreaking actually. It's a really well done scene. Given that we've never seen this guy before, just to have this one scene, and then in this one scene alone, we get it. We get everything about it. And it's like, okay, like her father's ashamed of both of them for different reasons. Like he's like, obviously this guy seems awful. I wonder if they're going to cast him for next year and we'll actually like get to meet the asshole.
Could do. Maybe when she finally confronts him.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me actually.
I mean, I wonder with, the rise in the popularity of the porn films, will he accidentally see one with her in and be like, that's it, we've got to talk?
I was going to say, he sounds like the asshole who would never go watch porn, but at the same time, he sounds like the hypocritical asshole who might go watch porn and then judge her for it anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah, they might. I can see that. It was just, because they're reminiscing about this story, and she mentions it all started because their dad found him wearing one of her dresses, and I actually really liked the moment. It's like the sad part is I'm not even into that. I just did it for a joke. Like,
thought, why not?
Yeah, I mean, he is gay, but like he's not into that specifically. He's like, I was just, just thought I'd try it once. And that was it. But no, and I think it makes Candy even more sympathetic seeing how she is with him. Like she's so understanding and she's trying to be loving, trying to help him. And I think it gives a bit more depth to her character and what she's, because she already had the son, but this is even just another layer to it. And also just a bit of history again, because now we understand her father a little bit better. Like, okay, we know where she comes from.
Yeah, we're kind of getting why she dislikes him, because obviously we were speculating that it was the father, and now we're sure of that, but we never got why. She's just like, no, I've not spoken to him in years. I'm not doing that. And now you get the feeling, okay, part of it was probably justified. The prostitution as well.
Yeah,
but him finding out about that. But I imagine this was a big part of it too.
Yeah, because I think now it feels more justified. Like before, it's like I think naturally a parent would be, because even her mother's quite ashamed of what she does. Like she's often making comments and stuff. And I guess maybe that was one of the signs that we should have noticed. Like, what she's scared to meet her father, but she takes this from her mother. How bad is he?
I think she knows what she's doing. She's like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna deserve this from my parents, because that's kind of what parents are supposed to do. But I wonder if the father went too far with it.
Oh, but just went too far with the brother.
Oh, it could be just this, yeah. But I mean, I'm just imagining there's more to it.
It's like she could almost forgive them for how they react to her, but she can't forgive him for what he's done to him.
Yeah, it could be.
Because to a certain extent, I mean, we don't know the exact how she got into the story, because she avoided that question last week with Harvey, but at least typically, like, she maybe had some choice in this lifestyle. Like, she went down this path. She made a choice to do that, whereas her brother didn't make any choices, nor should his father be ashamed of it.
Yeah, exactly.
And he obviously, she's someone who recognises that, and again, it makes her more sympathetic. But yeah, you really see how far she's come, because she comes in and in the previous scene, there's this woman who'd been interviewed, and she's and Harvey introduces her. It's like, hey, this is so and so, and she wants to be in our films, and it's like, oh, have you done this before? It's like, no, but I've seen some, and I own a bookstore with my husband. And
she goes, oh, are you in the business? She's like, I run a bookstore.
Yeah, because at first I didn't get what she really meant by that until Harvey really makes a point going, yes, an adult bookstore. Like, it really makes it clear. And she's like, yeah, I want to do this. And they sit down like, yeah, she doesn't look the type, which is maybe a good thing. Like, we can have her be the innocent housewife type of person.
Exactly. And again, this is nailing down the rise of the popularity of porn. With we've seen the theaters, we see we get some more of that here. We get the premieres. We got the gay film last week. Was it the week before?
Last week. The funny thing is it also correlates nicely to one of the pimp scenes in this episode, where they're sitting talking about one of the girls is saying, "Oh, she's great, but he was like Reggie was marketing her all wrong." Reggie died last week.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, she's like the girl next door. She shouldn't be in the hooker boots and the the miniskirt. She should be in like a little sort of farm dress. Like, you should be selling her as that. And it was almost the same conversation like what they're having with the porn stuff. But like, no, we should have her like this because she will fit that role. She's right for that character.
Yes, exactly. It's playing to their strengths rather than making it a one fits all.
Yeah, yeah. But no, so Harvey ends up getting detained at one point, and they're all waiting on set, and we see Darlene's there. Darlene's giving in to doing the movies, and the best part of this is she puts on this big wig, and Candy comes over and is like, "Hey, that wig's not really you." And I love the callback here. Like, she was wearing a wig most of the season, whenever she was on the job, and now she doesn't when she's doing this.
Yeah, because she even says to us like, "Yeah, but you've got a wig." It's just like, "Yeah, I do, but I don't really need it."
Yeah, she doesn't need it anymore. It's kind of the
she doesn't say anymore, but that's the point. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And she sits down and she like gives her a pep talk, and it's like, who cares if someone recognizes you? It's fine. Like, own it. But Harvey doesn't show up. He's been detained. His car broke down. He's not coming. And then when they say, "Oh, he's not coming at all, we should just all go home," she's like, "Nah, screw that. I know how to direct. Right? You like this set, and you come over here, and you do this." Also, I love how at the end of this scene, she's like, "Right, first up, whatever the guy's name is, Billy or whatever."
Andy, I think.
Sorry?
I think it was Andy.
Point is, he walks over in chaps, but he's got no underwear on, so he's just. It was a really funny image. Like, I just wasn't expecting it walking across the screen. I was like, "Oh, okay, right." Like. Actually, in these porn movies they're shooting, they never start dressed. They always seem to be half naked already. That is something that's changed over the years.
I think it must have.
I don't know.
Film was too expensive back then.
Oh, they had to limit that.
No wasting time.
Yeah, and of course, when they're filming the scene, you actually see it's the housewife, character from earlier, who's and they're playing like the milkman's, doing the wife in the kitchen. When he's on his rounds, kind of, classic stereotype, and and she's giving all these directions, and Harvey comes in and he's like, "Oh, you directed all of these?" I was like, "Yeah, we'll finish."
Yeah, she's talking about the action and the movement, and being with the camera being where it should be following.
The Hitchcock Truffaut conversation. Except she's talking about it with Junk. She's like, "Yes,
pussy,
we can't start on the pussy because then there's no story. But if you start with the penis and you follow into the pussy, then that's." And you're basically just describing, action dictates where the camera moves, and you just don't realize you're doing it.
She's just got a good eye for it. She's learned from watching.
I love the idea that you could maybe turn like any film theory into porn. Like, you could just say, okay, this is what you do if you.
It might make it more memorable to learn.
It might actually.
It's that whole point of in school, mnemonics, like tricks and stuff. It's like, no, make it something dirty because you'll remember it. Because it's funnier. Like, it'll stick in your mind more than just a random sentence.
I don't remember ever hearing this theory, but okay.
It was actually something, I think it was like one of my old science teachers said to us, like, no, if you make one up for, because there was like a thing where you had to, it was like make your own mnemonic for, learning the planets of the solar system or whatever.
Acronym for it, yeah.
Yeah. And it was like, right, okay. And then she goes, make it something dirty or a joke, because like something like that is far more memorable than just a random sentence. Even if the sentence works, if you do it something like that, you'll remember it better.
Yeah, let's try it. Let's try and apply a film thing but turn it into porn to see if it's more memorable. So a Dutch angle, the erection will look like that.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm getting? I mean, arguably already kind of so that depends on the angle, but you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
Yeah.
Slant it more.
So no, that makes sense. But the point at the end of the scene, Harvey's like, "Yeah, we'll finish, and then we can go to this," because he mentions they've got a premiere, and this is again showing that this is becoming more mainstream. They've got a red carpet premiere for a porn movie.
Yes.
We find out at the end of that scene, of course, that it's Deep Throat, which is a very famous, movie from the 70s.
Yeah. I've grown to like Harvey a lot because he comes in, he doesn't go, right, let me get, he comes in, he goes, "You've done all of this," and you think he's going to be like, I didn't say you could do that, and he's like, "Okay, no, you've done a good job, carry on."
Yeah, and I think it's because he comes in and he hears her describing again the theory, and he's like, I think he's impressed by it. He's like, "Yeah, this has probably been in good hands all day," like because he's hearing
he's like,
this.
he's going, You may not have an educational background. You may not know what you're talking about when you're saying this, but you know it.
Yeah, you
You've got the
get
good
it.
eye. And obviously we see over and over how she's good with the performers.
Yeah, she's good at talking to them, and I think so. Yeah, I think we're getting to a point next season where he might actually schedule days where he's not there, but she can direct the things while he's doing producing
Yeah,
things.
she's his second unit director now.
Yeah, yeah, there you go.
Essentially, she's upgraded from assistant.
So they go to this gala premiere for this porn movie, Deep Throat, and red carpet, all that. They've got like the lead stars doing press for it. They've got a press
Yeah.
there, but obviously on the way, this is where she's in the taxi and she sees Ruby, probably with the guy who kills her in a car, like get into this
I
car.
assume so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we see like she actually rolls down the window. She's driving past and she tries to shout over. And of course, Candy, I should say Eileen really, but she's she's got nice hair. She's got a nice like coat and dress on. She's all dressed up to go to this thing. And it was really sort of showing that she's not part of this world anymore because she's behind the glass and out there's the street where she used to walk.
She's protected, but she's looking out at it still.
Yeah, and she doesn't and Ruby doesn't hear her.
Yeah, she's just driving on by.
Yeah.
She's not part of that anymore. It's just a passing phase.
So it just shows you how far she's come and how the industry itself has come because we go to this gala and like Harvey's like, he's like, oh, yeah, you look great, and let's go on and they're commenting. We see some various familiar faces there, of course. We see the guy who counts the porn money, he was there, and a couple of other familiar people. And then even better, like Cece. Again, if you want to see Cece be embarrassed in this episode, you're just You
Yes.
get your just desserts because he tries to go in with Laurie, and the guy's like, tickets please. He's like, no, you don't understand. She's an actress. Still need to see your tickets. And I thought he was going to try and brave him. Instead, he just gets angry and swears at him and storms out.
He basically does you haven't seen the last of me.
Pretty much. And again, it's kind of this thing where he's being phased out. Like, he's not part of this world. This world has no place for him anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
The pimps have no place in this industry. And he is refusing to accept that, which of course ties in nicely to that other scene we have of him where he meets this older pimp who's retired and he's very friendly with him. And he's like, oh, you should get back in the game, this is that. And the guy's like, hey, things have changed, like everything's different now, and I'm too old as well. You have to know when to get off the stage. That's the phrase he uses. But he's like, yeah, everything's changed now. Like, it's not like it used to be. And
yeah, he mentions because you're the Deuce. People just go and watch porn. They don't need to rent girls like this anymore. Like that, this isn't the same place it was.
Yeah, the industry's just changed, and and CC, he's adamant. He's the blockbuster of the pimp world. He's determined not to change with the times.
Is this the second time you've used blockbuster this week?
Yeah, did I use it in something else?
I'm sure you did. I don't know what it was, but I remember talking about blockbuster this week, and equally going, I never thought we'd be talking about blockbuster.
You sure it wasn't in this last week?
No, positive.
Okay,
So it was more recent than that.
I could have sworn it was just this last week, but you may be right. Maybe I'm just forgetting what the other thing was. But I'm not going to explain it. I'm just blockbuster, face of streaming. No, we're not changing. Oh, bugger, you're out of business. Bye bye.
Yeah.
So that's the whole thing. But yeah, you see this nice big gal and they're going in and the montage at the end when we see Candy, she's on set, she's directing, she's doing things, she's got an important job now.
Yeah, she's more comfortable where she is for sure.
Oh, she's far more comfortable. She's confident. She's out off the streets and she likes it. So
and she looks happy.
She does look happy. So no, there's an empowered element to it, and so that's kind of where we leave her for the season. So obviously stuff to figure out. I assume we're going to meet her dad. We'll probably see more of her brother and see where this career takes her.
Does it get to a point where she wants to move beyond porn, or is she happy with that? Like, because it's what she knows still.
I can see her staying in porn, but wanting to not perform anymore.
Yeah, because there is that moment where I can't remember who it was. Someone says, "Oh, I really liked you in that scene."
Yeah, it's the guy who counts the money. They go to him.
Yeah.
And Harvey's like, because they're talking about, we need different types of porn. This is what sells. This is what gets the most quarters in the machines. And he's basically talking about a lot of things. Like, a lot of guys like interracial, but only when it's the black guy and the white girl. They don't like it the other way around. And she analyses it, and she actually kind of like nails what it might be that appeals to some people about this. And he's really impressed. He's like, oh, I see why you brought her. But then he adds on that little comment at the end where he's like, "Oh, by the way, I saw your movie where you were in the nurse's outfit or whatever. Very good, very tasteful."
Yeah, and she looks so annoyed.
It's like, yeah, you've just diminished me back to what I used to do. So I think she's going to transition from performing to just being behind the camera.
Yeah, I'd expect that.
So that's what I'm expecting from her. But no, it's cool stuff. So that's Candy. So we mentioned the pimps. Obviously, there's a little bit with Larry specifically, where he gets Melissa. Apparently, he wants to evolve and do other things because he's talking about how things are changing, and he wants to do something else. And I mean, it's seemingly he's going to try and get into the drug business because he sends Melissa into like a buyer. He's like, "Hey, I want you to go and get this guy." He go give him the money and bring the stuff back out. They never actually say what the stuff is, but you just assume it's drugs.
You assume drugs. I mean, because it's just one bag. And it's like, okay, probably drugs, yeah.
It's the obvious thing to go to, I think. But she goes in, and he's all excited about this. She goes in, and oh no, it's a sting. And the cops come out, and they're like, yeah, we can probably help you. If you tell us stuff about the guy who sent you in here.
Yeah, I like how immediately though she's not worried at first. She's like, hey guys, just take me to the precinct. I know Alston, the others.
Yeah, but she's not really thinking of because it turns out they're not just local cops for a start. But she's not really thinking this is a different charge. This is not the usual thing she's picked up for.
Yeah, she's just like, no, it's cops. I'll do the usual. But then they're like, no, this is federal. This is different.
Yeah, I guess it's the idea that it's escalating, like because Larry wants to escalate to something higher. He's been forced into more dangerous waters because it's not the same old thing anymore.
Yeah, and it's obviously it's a little bit surprising me she doesn't give him up at all.
Not yet. We see her in prison at the end of the episode. I feel like she might cave.
Maybe she'll break eventually, but even that's further than I expected.
Well, because we see that conversation with him and Cece where he's like, and Cece's like going, no, you can't go down and bail her out. Like, if they see you with that much money, they'll think you're suspicious. You can't do that. And he's like, well, that's fine. She won't rat on me anyway. Like he's just so convinced.
But the longer she stays there, and he isn't doing anything, then the more likely that she will, of course.
And again, I think that'll be the revelation to her that this old system's dead. This idea of the pimp system is going away because he can't actually help with this anymore. He's trying to evolve with the times, and he can't because now he can't just get her out for this.
Yeah, exactly.
So, again,
but the pimps are still aware that they're losing ground because they're back to last week talking about how they were kind of just wasting time going to watch movies. Here they were like, yeah, we don't really have anything to do, but we still want to be doing stuff. We still want to be here. We still like getting all the things that we get.
Yeah,
they're really aimless, aren't they?
Yeah, it was when Larry was meeting the guy before he sends Melissa in for the meet. I was sort of noticing how empty the streets were, like compared to what we've been, what we saw at the early episodes. Like it just feels empty now.
Yeah, it does.
For the better, of course, for everyone else, but them, they're the only ones that are pissed about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So we should talk, of course, about Alston and that stuff with Sandra, and the newspaper article, and the back and forth where I'm like, is she just using him for information, or is it genuine? And it feels like genuine, like a lot of the times, but then like she'll get upset when he doesn't tell her stuff, and then they seemingly break up when he kind of backs out towards the end.
Yeah, I think so.
So it's I don't know if this is the end of this per se, because I feel like we're just going to drop her next season. I feel like she'll still be around in some capacity.
I think we'll still be looking at her trying to work through things, but instead of having Alston on her side and helping her, she'll be trying to get past him.
Yeah, I can see that. And speaking of not knowing which side someone's on, we see the new captain, like sort of like he knows he's talking to a reporter, and he's like, "Hey, Alston, I'm going to clean this precinct up. All the corrupt cops and stuff, I'm going to deal with it. But I can only clean it up if all the dirt stays in house." Very clearly saying, we don't go outside to expose it. We keep it in here. I'll deal with it. And he basically says, "Hey, where do you want to go when this is all cleaned up?" And he's like, "Detective?" And he's like, "Say no more." And he just walks off. And it makes me wonder, like, is he genuinely going to clean it up? Is he genuinely this good captain who's going to try and clean it up? Or was this just the carrot on the stick to keep him in line?
Exactly. And I don't know at this point. I think it's too early to tell either way. He seems genuine, but so did Sandra for a lot of it.
Yeah, he seems genuine, and then there's that moment in the montage at the end where Alston comes in and sits down with his coffee, and you see the captain laughing with the other cops, and it's like, like, this could just be the act. That it's just being friendly with them all before he starts like dealing with them.
Yeah, but, and they might be awful at their jobs, but they might be nice enough people to have a laugh with in the office.
Oh, sure. So it's hard to say, but obviously throughout all this, he steals the little the lodger book that what's his face, Sweeney.
Aye, the dick.
Yeah, the dickhead, the one who goes around collecting the money. I love when they come into Vincent's bar and like, hey, have you found any little green books about this big? And I love how the guy who's with
cute green.
Yeah, the guy who's with him, the second cop's like. He's so terrified. He's like, oh shit, this is my bad. I'm gonna keep that book safe.
Yeah, it's well funny.
It's just really, really good.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so it's funny. In fact, speaking of, just to go back to Cece for a second, I forgot to mention, after he's had that scene with the older pimp, and at the end of it, like this woman who's this older pimp's partner shows up, and he's very happy to see her, and he takes some groceries off her, and they leave
I like
together.
how he still has his pimp cane.
He still has his pimp cane. He's not
you
left
can't tell when
behind.
He sat down, but and he's complaining about the cars, going, "I'm not a fan of these new pimp cars." And then he gets up with his cane. I'm like, oh, he's still a pimp.
Yeah, so he's still, some pimp features never die, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
But Cece looks back over at Laurie in that, and he's like, And what I liked about this is that he's definitely feeling, reflective on himself and his situation. He's comparing it to this older pimp, but I'm actually not sure which way he's thinking. Like, I'm not sure if he's looking back at the girls and going, oh, do I kind of want what he's got, and I want like a steady woman and not this lifestyle anymore? Is he tempted by that, or is he looking at them and going, no, this is my life, I prefer this, this idiot gave this up? Like, I'm not actually sure. The way it plays,
I naturally lean to the former, more of he was looking at them and going, which one do I choose to keep with me, sort of thing.
Yeah, but obviously this is before some of the later scenes where he's an asshole to Laurie after they get rejected from the screening, and then of course the comments with Ruby. So it's not like he's a nicer person after this, where you think he's better. So I don't know. So certainly though, it's left a lot of characters in very interesting places that are different from where they started. And no,
yeah.
So
I think it's been an amusing season. Well, if you boil it down to core actual plot, pretty much nothing's happened really. It's all been just character.
Oh yeah, it's a character show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the plot boils down to guy gets a new bar and then opens a hooker parlor, and that's it.
That's about it. That is literally as far as we've progressed.
And that is the plot. And then again, Candy gets off the streets and starts working in the film industry. Like, it's basically, you can boil the 3 or 4 plots down to 1 or 2 sentences, and that's the whole thing. Yeah. But that's not a criticism, because the character stuff is so strong. It's so well directed and shot. It's great.
It really is. It's been I mean, we said at the start, but it's been fantastically consistent.
It has been. There's not been a single bump, and obviously some other little moments throughout here or there where you see Darlene's friend is like, she feels like a zombie as she's like talking to the guys and like getting their money and like.
Yeah, do you know, we have a few shots of Darlene walking through the parlor, through the hallways, and she looks so out of it, like she's sick of this life. But it's kind of hard to feel sorry for her. Yeah, because it's like you came back, you had an out, and then you came back and dragged someone else into this with you.
Yeah, and she looks in at her at one point, and she clearly feels guilty. But then she's at the film set, and maybe she will find something better there. Maybe she will grow to like that.
But like I was, it was a little awkward where, like I say, she was looking in at the friend and feeling guilty, and I think I was supposed to be feeling sad for her, being like, oh yeah, don't want to feeling guilty. You want to be better, but it's hard to feel bad for her when she's kind of done this to herself, because she had an out, like I say.
I don't think you might feel bad for her in the easy sense. Like, I think it is. I think it's meant to be a mixed emotion where you feel bad for her, but you know it's her fault. Like you feel it's kind of like when you feel disappointed in someone for their own bad choices, but you're still concerned for them.
Yeah. Okay, I'm with you.
I think it's very specifically going for that, and I think in that it's actually working really well, because that's exactly how you feel. You're like, and I'm so disappointed in you, and This is kind of your fault.
It's like I really should feel bad for you because you kind of got a shitty life here.
I think you do, but you have that mixed emotion because it is like you brought this onto yourself because, I mean, you're naive basically, and you thought you had things that you liked.
Yeah, you assume the first time that when she first got into it, you assume okay she didn't know any better. That's what happens to most of these girls. You assume. Yeah. And it's like, but you knew well enough that you could if you came back, this is what was waiting for you, and you chose to come back anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, but like we say, the characters are so strong. Like, there's layers to her. There's layers to Vincent. There's layers to...
Yeah, and that's the thing. We're saying this about Darling now. She was like I said, the first one we attached to in terms of in the prostitute. She was the first one that we were like, no, we've got hope for her, something better.
Which is why I think it's so effective that they've done this with her, where she is more mixed and it's a bit more conflicting to actually think about how you feel about her. Yeah, it's
definitely more interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, and like I say, the pool table thing was a nice sort of like bookend, as was the wig thing, because it was kind of where we started, and now she doesn't need the wig. So those couple things, and I think there was another thing as well that I'm forgetting, but there was just these things that kind of bookended the season and said, no, that's where we are at the start, this is where we are at the end, and things have changed. In fact, thinking about it, the end shot might actually be similar to the end shot of the first episode with the hallway, except it was the seedy hotel.
Oh yeah, you're right. Actually,
very because we
came out of in that one. We came out of the door, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I didn't think of that.
Book ending. Good way to handle your season. So no, it's been fantastic. I am definitely looking forward to season 2.
Yeah, me too. Whenever we get it,
and we'll see what these characters do. It was already been renewed, so maybe they'll hit the same time next year, or maybe it'll be early 2019. Who knows?
I think I've just grown used to expecting a slip.
Yeah, I'm almost expecting these premium shows, if you will. I'm expecting like 14 to 16 months per season now.
Yeah, or maybe even 18 at a push, depending on what it is. Maybe not this one, because it's only 8 episodes.
8 episodes, and it's not effects heavy. I mean, there's actually probably some like subtle CG in the background to hide like modern things.
Yeah, but not in like when you think Game of Thrones, it's got like a big or
Westworld or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. That's it. There's a lot of extras. It feels like a big production, though. It feels like a
and obviously they've done fantastic with the set dressing and all that.
Yeah, set dressing's been phenomenal. The streets,
lots of
shots.
Exteriors. Yeah, so I was just gonna say that's got to have been expensive to recreate all this to look how it has to.
Yeah, I think that's maybe a big reason why it is 8 episodes. It's because if we do this for 8 episodes, this is going to cost the same as what 13 would if we weren't doing that. But like, looks fantastic. It's felt authentic all season to the time period. At least, like, I'm sure people who really know the time period might like spot some little things here or there, but like it feels authentic.
It feels grimy, and it feels like everything looks like it should, like you'd expect it to.
Yeah. Obviously, the performances across the board have pretty much been
it's
phenomenal.
hard to fault any of them.
Yeah. Obviously, the ones who really get to shine, and I think Maggie Gyllenhaal's probably had the most meaty role to really like show our chops off.
Yeah, and obviously Franco's been interested in having the 2 characters. So
yeah.
Even though individually, I don't think either character has really had a massive range, but between the pair of them, he's doing quite a lot of work.
Yeah, so... Alright, it's just a little insert after the fact. I was incorrectly calling Barbara Melissa, because those are the 2 that have always been together, so I just swapped their names around.
That's why I didn't question it, because I was like I can never remember which one's which.
Yeah, sounds right. Yeah, Melissa's got the more bobble hair.
The bob cut, yeah.
Yeah, and then, Barbara's the other one. That's the one who goes to prison. Oh. I don't know where I'm going to slot this in. Ideally, I'd do it the first time I said it, so that we avoid all the comments correcting us. But that may be harder to find, so maybe near the end. But I just wanted to let everyone know we did spot the
If you get to this, go back and edit your comment.
Yes, go back and edit your comment. There you go. That's the Deuce season finale, season 1 done. Let us know what you thought of it in the comments below. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Get us on Twitter at mailed_fuzz for channel updates. If you want to support the channel, head over to patreon.com/mailedfuzztv. You can do that over there. But otherwise, that is us. So thank you once again for watching. Keep watching TV. We'll see you next time. Have you got anything else?